My goodness, every day. Oh, goodness gracious. It's the tolerant people at it again. So here's what we've got today. You know that we had the No King situation, right? And I mean, sure, as long as the protests are peaceful and they don't attack people, destroy property, burn cars, and all the kind of stuff, then I'm okay with it. I think they should be able to do it, as many people as want to do it, and that's great. But the problem is that during these No Kings protests, which were supposed to let us know how fascism is wrong and people should be nice and you should love everyone, things like this happened. Look at that. Hate has no home here. That's a child. Disgusting. Look at this loser. This is child indoctrination towards violence against not only our democratically elected leaders, whether it be Biden or Trump, it's irrelevant. It's a democratically elected leader, then that's your leader. That's how it works. You can despise the leader, but do keep in mind that people have tried to assassinate Donald Trump, which is anti-democratic. And in fact, the most fascist thing that you can do is to assassinate your political opponents. Not just fascist, it's also very communist, you know, when it comes to like Stalin and whatnot, but in general, totalitarian, let's put it this way, anti-democratic. The problem is that people did try to do this. And oftentimes when we see these murderers, these assassins, and sometimes mass murderers, in fact, whether it be the one that tried to assassinate Trump, whether it be the one that did assassinate Charlie Kirk, this is what people comment. But that's so weird. Everybody liked him. He seemed so normal. I wonder how he turned out to be a mass murderer. Meanwhile, Democrat parents indoctrinate their children. So, if this child is being at such a young age, if this behavior is encouraged, positively rewarded, what that creates is, they think I'm awesome because I did this. So if I do it in real life, for instance, against Charlie or whoever he is, that is the next target at this point, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how. So when you say hate has no home here, you've lost your mind completely.
You know how I know the left is stupid and it's full of white liberals who just don't know any better? We drove by the No Kings protest and we played rap music, but it was like pro-Trump rap music. And all of these white liberals that are protesting are dancing to it because they're like, ooh, black people music, we should like that. That is how stupid these people are.
I can't listen to it though, it's gonna get me. Success. After weekend of No King protests, America will now still not have any kings. Oh, that's funny. You know what I was telling a friend of mine? It was actually funny to think about all of these No King protests. Good luck doing that in England. Or Sweden for that matter. You know, when you actually have imagine that. No, I think they changed it to no tyrants in countries with a representative monarchy. If I were the king, though, I would have trolled them with a No King sign myself. That would have been great. That would have been so funny.
A lot of people kept asking me if I went to the No Kings protest last weekend. And I just politely said, no, without elaborating. But here's what I really think about those rallies.
I wonder why they assumed that you did.
The whole premise is backwards. Journalist and CNN contributor Batya Ungar-Sargon said it best, and I'll play her clip in a minute.
Okay.
They're saying they're protesting kings, but they're the ones trying to overturn the will of the voters.
That's correct.
Think about that. It kept happening over and over.
Well, not every person. You can protest a leader, to be honest, and say, I don't like him, I despise him, I hate his policies. And so you can go and say, well, yeah, say no king is stupid because he's not a king, he's a president. But to say, like, I hate Trump and that kind of stuff, that's fine. It is absolutely right. Whether you want to call it a constitutional republic or whether you want to call it a democracy, it doesn't matter. In both ideals, you can despise the leader. What you can't do is shoot people in the neck, which is what a lot of these people do and support. And the reason why I know they support it is because there were a lot of people, there were definitely people among the No King protesters that were having signs mocking the death of Charlie Kirk or saying he deserved it and that kind of stuff. So that demonstrates, as this guy is saying, that they are not actually against the idea of having a king. They do in the sense of having an absolute monarch or someone who can force his will onto people whether they like it or not, simply because he's the one that was in power due to his blood, right, and lineage. That's how a monarch becomes a monarch. It's either that or they conquer power militarily with a subjugation of the preceding monarch. So they take control that way, assassinating the family and whatnot. So it's precisely that. So you can't pretend to be, oh, I'm against kings. This is America. We don't like kings. But then you also celebrate people shooting your opponents. Imagine the people who celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk and his assassination, saying he deserved it. Imagine what they would have done if President Trump was assassinated on that day and he didn't actually move the head. Luckily he did. I'm glad he did. And I would say the same for Biden if the assassination was against him instead. I don't want anyone to be assassinated because it's a slippery slope, as someone who has studied history. And the reality is that these people, all of these no kings, they would have absolutely loved it if President Trump was shot in the head, and then if possibly the Democrats took that opportunity of displacement and disruption to actually forcefully take power. They would love it, which means they want a king. They do want a king. They hate democracy.
Security guard of our building, one neighbor, walking a dog. And I was just like, why would people want to go to that? The protesters call Trump authoritarian. Mm-hmm. But he's the one implementing the policies he was elected on. That's not tyranny. That's representative government. I get that you might not like what his agenda is.
Yeah.
But it is literally what he ran on. And he won the popular vote. I think to try and remove that leader, that's the anti-democratic move.
He's correct.
And I just support the president. I'm not saying I'm anti-protest ever, but it was very group-thinky. I didn't like the energy out there. So many people kept asking me, hey, did you go to the rally earlier? No. I realized that here in New York City, my opinion is unpopular. It was the cool thing to do here in my neighborhood, Chelsea. But
because it's all about tribalism. It's not even about the inner logical consistency of their worldview, because it has no logical consistency. When you say that you're against kings, but you will be absolutely pro the idea of the assassination of the currently democratically elected president, it means that there is it's a paradox, but they don't care about that. The same way that they say, if you criticize Islam, it's Islamophobia, but I'm pro-feminism. The two things are mutually exclusive. If you tell a woman that she's not allowed, she's a bigot and Islamophobe, if she complains about the way women are treated in Muslim countries, then you're not pro-women and you're not a pro-feminism. It's the same thing. But unfortunately, when people have been brainwashed to the point where propaganda is anything that they ooze outside of any pore of their being, unfortunately, even me pointing out these absolute paradoxes, or this guy pointing out paradoxes and logical fallacies within their thinking systems, doesn't work. It doesn't work, because at that point they're just going to tell you, so are you saying that you support fascism? That's what they're going to tell you, because they don't know how to listen.
I guess I'm a dork. They've convinced themselves they're standing up to power.
Yeah.
When in reality, they're trying to undo a democratic process.
He's correct.
They just don't like the outcome of.
Yeah.
Even if he's not for every policy that I would be for domestically, he's for sure every policy that I'm for foreign policy-wise. Mm-hmm. And I just feel that he's making the world safer with what he's doing in the Middle East.
And of course, this is something that people can absolutely debate and say, no, I disagree. I think this, and that. And that's the beauty of civil discourse, which is not everyone who went to the protest, but a lot of the people that were into these protests, they don't understand. They don't care about discourse. They don't care about discussion. They don't care about the will of the people. They only care about forcing their own will through snipers. That's the reality. And if you think no method, you just made it up. Okay, a California middle school teacher was caught celebrating Charlie Kirk's death during the No King protests on Saturday. I've seen a lot of videos like this. This person gleefully shouted he's dead is reportedly Barbara Garrett, a teacher at the... It's always the teachers. I'll make a dedicated video to that. Okay, and this is a No King fighting for the will of the people, anti-authoritarian person. This is a joke. This person is an absolute joke. Woke up this morning, still no kings. You did it, libs. Oh my gosh. That was like, this is such a trolling, by the way. This is such a trolling. I don't know about you, but this is funny. I think it's hilarious. Anyways. You know what this is? I'll tell you what the No King protests were for the most part. They were performative, outdoor, virtual signaling. That's all they were. You're still free to do it, and I think you should be able to do it, but that's what it was. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.